Let's take a look at the Iceberg self-discovery exercise. What it is a powerful self-connective tool that looks deceptively like an old school third grade worksheet. Got it in front of you? Good. Okay. The first thing I want to point out, as you just sort of give it the once-over, is that the Iceberg self-discovery exercise is not a direct problem-solving tool. You won't see anywhere that says, here's how I can fix this, and here's what I should do next. And that's on purpose. This first exercise is designed to ground you in the simplicity of connecting with all the parts of your iceberg. When might it be useful? Anytime. The day I started doing one daily every morning, that was a day that created big, positive, permanent, transformational changes for me in terms of feeling more in control of my life. Another good time to do the exercise, or what many who teach satir call drawing your iceberg, is anytime you're feeling the least little bit disconnected from bliss and relaxation. If you're angry or frustrated, that's a wonderful time because you can't be in bliss and frustrated at the same time, right? So whenever I notice my equilibrium is upset, you're liable to find me at my computer or sitting with a piece of paper drawing my iceberg. Want to get started? Okay. Here we are. Now, this exercise and the iceberg itself, they're full of deeper meanings, but we're not going to get into those at this stage. We're just going to approach this with a beginner's mind. I'll talk about each of the 9 sections in order. The best way to do this is to actually do the exercise while I walk you through it. So we're going to go a section at a time. You can get a pen and print it out, or you could just type it in if that's what you like to do. I'll give you a chance to pause the video at the end of each section so that you can take all the time you need to really connect with each important part. Ready? Okay, here we go. The first section is context. That's where you note what's happening at the time that you're doing the exercise. If you've decided to draw your iceberg, and that's what I'm going to call it now, this exercise is a tool to support you in learning to draw your iceberg. If you've decided to draw your iceberg because you're still upset about something that's happened in the past, or you're preparing for something that's about to come up, you would note that in the context. Aside from that, context really isn't critically important, so don't obsess over it. For now, you could write, learning to draw my iceberg. You can hit pause now if you need to, as we're about to move on. The second section is behavior, or what am I doing? Now, this is your iceberg we're connecting with, so it's your behavior that you want to write there. If you're taking issue with someone else's behavior, which of course happens, and that's why you're drawing your iceberg, a perfect time for doing it, put their behavior in context. The behavior section is where you note what you did or are planning to do. Just write it down. Again, right now, you probably don't have much to write. You could just say watching video. You can hit pause now if you need to. The third section, what am I feeling? Now is when things start to get fun. What I want you to do here is simply make a list of the feelings you're having. No sentences, just the feelings. No justifications. No, they made me angry when they didn't take out the trash. Just make a list of what your feelings are, one at a time. Anger, fine. If you're having trouble coming up with feelings words, there's a link below that you can click on to an article with a very comprehensive list of feelings words. You could use that, or you could just start by checking in with the 5 basic feelings in the movie Inside Out: joy, sadness, fear, anger, and disgust. Those are feeling words, and there are others like them, of course, but all feelings are pretty much connected to those basic 5. So every time you identify a feeling you're having, write it down. Almost like you're emptying a sack, write one down, take a breath, check back in with yourself, look for another, write each one down. Look for feelings that don't seem to agree with each other. Don't question it, just write them down. When you've got a good list of at least 4 or 5 and you can't find any more, you're ready for the next section. You can pause now if you need a few minutes to finish. The fourth section, how do I feel about having my feelings? At this point, I want you to take a good breath or two and read your feelings list slowly back to yourself. Then ask yourself if any new feelings are coming up while you read these feelings. Are there? Very likely. Write those down the same way, one at a time. No explanations, no judgments. Doesn't matter if they're positive or negative. Just put them down. This is private. You don't have to share it with anyone, so really be honest. That's the only way it works. After a few breaths, when you're sure you have them all, go on to the next section. You can hit pause now if you need a minute. The fifth section, what am I thinking about? This is where you get to write all the things you believe about what's going on. Go ahead, go to town. These are your perceptions, your beliefs. Again, no problem solving. You're just connecting with what you think, perceive, and believe. You'll notice there's not a ton of space. Feel free to continue on the back or another page, but if you're doing that, it's not going to be terribly useful. Just note a concept or two. Maybe something like if you were iceberging over your child's teacher telling you she was caught cheating on an exam, you could say, I believe cheating is morally wrong. That's a belief. It's your conscious view. About this exercise as we're doing it now, maybe it's exciting to you and you could write that, or maybe it seems silly, or maybe something else. All perceptions, beliefs. You can put them down. Hit pause if you need a minute more. The sixth section, expectations. You'll notice there are 4 bullets. Start with the first. What do I expect of myself when I feel like this, or in this situation, doing this? Be honest. Write what you expect of you. Next, if you're processing something that involves another person, and let's just keep it to one person at this point, write what you expect of them specifically. Then write what you think they expect of you. If you're so moved, you can continue with the 4th bullet. In this case, perhaps you have expectations of me or the program. Feel free to put that under expectations of other. Now is a good time to pause if you need a minute. The 7th section, yearnings. What deeper longings are active in you right now? If the idea of yearnings isn't coming easily, you might get an idea by looking to your feelings. For example, if a person is feeling afraid, they may yearn to feel safe or for safety. If a person is hungry or feeling starved, they may yearn for nourishment. Other common yearnings are for belonging, for connection, for independence, for power, flow, prosperity, purpose. Seriously, there are thousands. Go with what feels right to you. You can pause for a minute here if you like to get in touch with your yearnings. The 8th section, excitements. Keep this simple. If you've given your attention to the prior 7 sections in order, it's likely that something is stirring inside of you. What is it? What are you excited to do? It could be as simple as having a cup of tea, going for a little nap, taking a walk, using the restroom. It could be something else, the impulse to talk with someone. This also is not a problem-solving area. This is literally where you take a read of what your excitement meter is noticing and wanting. Validate it, even if you can't do it. Perhaps you'll do it after you finish drawing your iceberg, and you're almost done. Hit pause now if you need a minute. Section 9, the self. This is almost deliberately ambiguous. A person's relationship with their self is very personal and very powerful. So I can't really tell you what to write here, and perhaps you won't write anything. That's fine. But it would be good to think on it for a minute. Think about your life force. How does it feel to you? Your indestructible core. How would you describe it? Can you appreciate that you have it? Does it feel like it's flowing better, or is it blocked in some way? As I said, write something or don't. Hit pause if you'd like. And that's all. Review your iceberg if it pleases you. Perhaps new feelings will come up as you go over it. Add them. You can jump around once you're done. Once you feel like you're done, you're done. You can throw it away. The value of drawing one's iceberg isn't in saving it. It's like an internal selfie. If you want to save the icebergs you draw, you're welcome to. It's a little like taking several selfies a day. They do tend to pile up. You also might want to keep them secure so that you don't worry about someone else seeing them, because in order for them to be effective, we must be completely honest, and sometimes we might worry about how that would impact another person. But usually the best thing to do is just to get rid of it. Truly, it's not you anymore. It was you then. Getting rid of it can complete the energetic release and transformation. And that's all. Use it in good health. Once a day can be life-changing, several even more so. I'm going to ask you not to share this tool with anyone who hasn't had the chance to watch this video. Have them watch it themselves. There are links for the feelings words below, including one you can print out with faces on it to use with your kids if you like. It's never too soon to talk about feelings. And there are references, a suggested reading list, and other resources as well. See you in the next video.